Naniwa's army is now regrouping in the middle of the map, as we can see, and ThorZain is he's being picked apart just a little bit right now. His third is way behind. Naniwa's has been mining for a really long time. In terms of supply, Naniwa's maxed. ThorZain is only at about 150, so if there was a battle to happen right now, I think Naniwa would probably roll him over, especially since he has his 3-3 done, and ThorZain is sitting on 2-2 on his bio, as we can see down here. There are a lot of Templar in this composition right now, 7 Templar. Most of them are at pretty high energy, so if he gets some storms down, and if he's able to win the caster versus caster battles, he will be in great shape. You can see he's learned from his mistakes in prior games. He now has observers around the map. These are actually zealots, but there is one in production. I'm sure he's going to rally, and I'm also fairly sure there is one on the map. Yeah, there is one out, so Naniwa is definitely learning from his mistakes, and if he can get vision of this army and come in here and feed back all the ghosts, he'll still have plenty of energy for storms, and that should be it, if he can actually do that. So you have to think that Naniwa's a little bit ahead, but we've seen ThorZain come back from bigger deficits before, so we'll see what he's able to do about this. You can see 3-3 is not going to be done. At least 3 attack is going to be done, but 3 armor is likely not going to be done before the next engagement, as both of them are getting antsy and pressing out around the map. Naniwa has 3k, 2k banked right now in terms of his minerals, so he has a lot to fall back on. One Marauder does press up, see how many Templar are in the composition, see how many Colossus are in the composition, which is now 1, and an Immortal is mixed in there. Reinforcement pylon coming down here, so it looks like Naniwa is smelling blood in the water and really wants to go for it and have multiple engagement angles. You can see that the Viking and the Stalker are just kind of standing there looking at each other. They know what's at stake. The Templars are really clumping up right now, but ThorZain does not see it. They're moving over to the third once again, and if Naniwa can bait ThorZain into moving his units up here and bait them into more storms, that'll really work in his favor. Naniwa is pressing up now. It looks like he's ready to start engaging here in the next little bit. Templars press up as well. Huge storms go down. As you can see, he does have observation right now in terms of what's going on in that army. The Templars are still pretty clumped here, so good EMPs, but another storm does go down on top of those ghosts. The ghosts still have a lot of EMPs, so kind of an even trade right there. There's still Archons morphing that are probably going to die, considering Naniwa did just abandon them. They're going to turn around and do a little bit of damage, but not enough to warrant all this Templar being lost anyway. So ThorZain slightly comes ahead on that engagement right there. I hope that Naniwa has proper reinforcement, and wow, look at all these gateways in his main. So considering he has this much money, I'd actually like to see him be on more gateways than even that. If he's this late in the game, we might have an engagement here as the Observer now dies. Big EMPs on top of this. Naniwa's army looks a little skimpy right now, but he's going to go ahead and attack into this. That 3-3 armor is really going to work on this. As you can see, all the ghosts are still cloaked, but blink out there from Naniwa. Pretty close game right now. Naniwa has to retreat from that battle, so ThorZain should feel comfortable in the sense that he's still alive. Even though he's been behind in macro for quite a while. He's now floating his 4th out to take his 4th base. It is an orbital command as well, which you really need to do if you want to be aggressive to make that all happen. There is a Zealot blocking this as well. But more reinforcements are coming in here from Naniwa. All these Templars are ready to storm once again. And these units are pretty low. The medevacs are now out of energy. So ThorZain needs to stay on top of his medevacs. You can see him producing more. 4 medevacs coming out at a time. Naniwa is switching back into Colossus production, which is very, very smart, considering he sees such a low count of medevacs right now. ThorZain has to decide to either put out medevacs or put out Vikings, and if you can't put out Vikings, you should respawn with Colossus as soon as you can. So Naniwa playing this very, very smartly. Both these Marauders in deep red. If this Zealot was being paid attention to, he would kill it. Look at that Marauder just fall apart in that fight. So this is a very, very close game. Both these players playing extremely well. And again, whoever wins this goes on to play Ret for the championship of this tournament. The huge EMP goes down on top of all these Templar. None of them have any energy to cast their spells. 2 Colossus are now in the mix. The army presses up here for Naniwa. Another couple of huge EMPs on top of these Stalkers. But Naniwa's army just has too much staying power right now. There's no energy on these medevacs, or at least if there is, it's very little. So ThorZain is really getting ripped apart, and that's it. ThorZain has to quit. Naniwa is going to move on to the championship against Ret. So we will see that final match here. Should be coming up right after these, assuming I have enough hard drive space to make all this happen. So stay tuned for that. These games should all come up at the exact same time. So we'll move right into that. I hope you guys enjoyed that series between those two. So we're going to see a Protoss versus Zerg in the finals. We'll see what both these players have in store for us. Stay tuned. I'll bring it to you in just a moment.